cut. And out of the root word haraso, we find harax, which means a pointed stake. So a mark, or haragma, is made via harax. In turn, you get a pointed stake, which could very well translate to a needle, as a needle indeed fits the definition of a pointed stake. So having defined and said the Greek meanings of the terms used in Revelation, one can arrive at the conclusion that the hand in Greek context could equally be the arm, and the mark being in the body could be related to the term harax, or a pointed needle. That describes the mark of the beast in relation to the hand. So, what about in the forehead? Well, a needle being injected directly into your forehead isn't going to fare well, now is it? After all, there is massive bone directly beneath your skin, known as your skull, and a needle is not going to penetrate that. So if the mark goes in one's forehead, then how can this be accomplished? And thus, we have the COVID-19 PCR test, or nasal swabs. As we can see from the image, the nasal swab goes up the nose, right between the eyes. Dr. Lorraine Day has said on numerous occasions, as well as Johns Hopkins University, that a nasal swab is the same as being vaccinated and or marked, as the content that is in the vaccine is the same that is on the end of the swab. This means that by complying or bowing down to the system in both an injection or a swab, you are complying and inserting contents into your body. This very much so is in alignment with the Bible, as it's not on you, but rather in you. You are being vaccinated unknowingly by testing alone, and this can only be accomplished with your consent or willingness to do so. And many of you will say that you were forced, when in reality, you were not. You may have been threatened or pressured, but those who haven't been vaccinated will continue to be pressured. So as the King James and Geneva Bible put it, in the scripture, it goes in a person. And how else would they get that inside of you? For all nations were deceived by sorcery, which, as we already defined in a previous chapter, chapter 14, the word sorcery is pharmakia. And we understand that pharmakia is medicine. And now we understand that all nations were deceived by medicine. So medicine, or pharmakia, has fooled all nations. And we find out that all age groups are approved for the COVID-19 vaccination. Furthermore, we learn that modern-day 501c3 churches in chapter 15 have been administering the pharmakia that deceived all nations. So it is not hard for one to conclude that the vaccination is the mark, as it meets the biblical descriptions of being such. Now, having said that, let's take a listen to Dr. Lorraine Day regarding the mark. Dr. Day, whom I followed now for a long time, a biblical scholar to her own right, and extremely well educated and respected within the medical community, puts it best. And rather than me trying to recite, let's refer to Dr. Day's arguments regarding the dangers of the nasal swab test.
Let me tell you, they've already started the vaccinations. They've already started them. They started them a long time ago because the test vaccinates you. The article right here in front of me, and here's what it says. Yes, they can vaccinate us through the nasal test swabs and target the brain. Now, here's the thing. As a doctor, I said, this is crazy